Everybody, welcome to the stream. Welcome to the stream. And what is going on? Cool. I love it when things don't work like they're supposed to. Nice. Does this work? No. Cool. Love it. Anyway, welcome. I was trying to. There's a couple of my buttons are like grayed out on my thing, and I don't know why. My little. I got like, gosh, how many is that? 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I got 24 like screen button things on my little doodad that plays like the dumpster fire and cut scenes and all that stuff. And for whatever reason, a few of them are grayed out. I don't know what's going on. And yeah, cool. And installed an update, and of course broke it. Awesome, love it. Welcome everybody. Welcome to Election Day, 30 minutes of awesome, and we're going to dive through it. So, something I'm going to try today, for those of you that are channel members, I'm going to try to give you priority. So, make that worth your while that you're a channel member. I'll try to do that. I know it's all kind of all mixed up for me on the chat, so yeah. Anyway, all right. Welcome to the stream, and we've got the U.S. election ongoing right now. We may or may not find out the results today, tomorrow, next week, January 6th. You tell me. We'll see. We'll see in the coming weeks and what's going on. I think the bigger, more immediate market pressing event is the FOMC meeting coming up on Thursday. Do their rate change? Is it a big one? Is it a small one? Is it up or is it down or is it sideways or hold the rate steady? You tell me. You tell me. We can look at the DGS2 chart right here. And we zoom it up. And the rate has been climbing. The market rate has been climbing. Powell's rate dropped. This rate climbing. Looks like they may need a hold. I think that signals a hold, but maybe they want to cut again. Maybe they cut another quarter point. They did a couple. They raised more than a point higher than they probably should have. I mean, that'd be another half point down to bring it back in line with where we are. I mean, they probably should have stopped raising rates back here and just held it steady. That's kind of where I drew it, and it went a little overboard. Now we're cutting back, and I don't know. A half point cut on Thursday is a sign of continued panic. A quarter point cut is like a standard move, and a hold steady is a wait and see, which kind of, I mean, the market likes stability, and if we just quit tinkering with the rate, just leave it alone. Just leave it alone. I think we went a little too high. Maybe that's creating negative forces on the market, and this house of cards could come apart. So this is a tough situation. Rock in a hard place. They've got us in, as I said this morning, and this afternoon, and all last week. We are in the midst of the presidential and congressional elections. Here in the United States. If you live elsewhere in the world, well, kind of sets the socioeconomic political arena for the next 4 years that we're going to operate under. Coming to the end of the Biden era, we'll see what happens. Unemployment claims scheduled to come in about 220,000. We'll get that Thursday morning, along with the federal funds rate right there. Forecast right now for 4.75. We'll see. We're up here. Now we're down here. They were looking for a quarter point. That's a half point, maybe another quarter point. So put us at 4.75. Another half point cut puts us at roughly 4.5 targets. Yeah. I mean, that's probably where we should have been to begin with, but probably shouldn't have ramped that last little bit. But I digress. I'm not in charge. They don't ask me. We had a long time of zero interest rate policy. The market had a tantrum right there when we raised rates. Oh my gosh. That led right into COVID. The market kind of looks a lot like it did heading into February 2020. There's a lot of weird stuff in the underpinnings, and things could come apart here. Just saying. Was this the prelude? Did we get the first little cut and then we got to flush down? I mean, we've had a financial crisis here. We had a financial crisis back here. We had a financial crisis, world meltdown over here. What happens over here? Something's coming. Something's brewing. Now, does it happen from here, or do we hiccup and go higher before we actually blow the house of cards apart? Yet another thing sitting out there. Yet another thing. So that we'll find out what the next edition of FOMC coming up on November 7th, Thursday. Probably more important than whatever happens today. You may not think it, but for the market, for trading, for immediate reactions, probably more important than whatever happens. Because this will be a slow train right here. These people won't even get to work until probably February at the earliest, getting anything to happen. And then passing laws and stuff, that's like a slow train. Then you got debates and legal lawsuits and this and that's and executive orders and whatever. And yeah, this is not a fast moving train, so not really going to have major effect right away. Now, as I've said, both parties, potential for things to hit the fan late Q2, late Q1, all of Q2, possibly into Q3 next year, and we make a market top, and then some consequences hit. So I think the incumbent team wins. We get more inflation, more spending, more inflation. The challenger wins. Maybe they do the Department of Government Efficiency, cut $2 trillion out of the markets. The market goes through like heroin withdrawal when you suck away the drug. I mean, all our GDP growth is on government spending. You cut out that government spending, what happens? That could be bad. Of course, they won't be able to do it immediately. It'll take time. So that's why I don't think it'll happen immediately. It could push into 2026. Entirely possible. Entirely possible we just float along next year before the wheels come off. So those are the things to be careful of. Any kind of surprise in the next couple of days could create a temper tantrum in the market. Talked about it this morning. If you missed that show, you might want to go back and watch the live stream from this morning where I talked about some potential plays. Still less chaos ensues tonight. You may be able to place something tomorrow before FOMC on Thursday at 2 p.m. So there you go. And that's kind of the highlights for the week, if you will. It's the big stuff I'm watching, the big events coming down the pipe this week. And we do have some earnings. SMCI, big one. Their preliminary earnings, I guess you might say, since they're under fraud investigation. Produced some earnings tonight. And that's NVIDIA's third biggest customer. And allegedly NVIDIA announcing that they're diverting resources that were going to SMCI to other vendors as to keep the AI infrastructure train flowing, I guess you might say. Trying to think of how to say that. Good on NVIDIA, but caution would be like major caution. As I was talking about this morning, NVIDIA filed with the Supreme Court for immunity from investigation on fraud. It just sounds like they know something's up. And so here we are, Supermicro. We've had Palantir last night, ARM coming out tomorrow, Celsius, AMC, CVS, DraftKings. We've already been, we already got the big part of big tech. So these are still a lot of companies, but smaller companies than our Google, Amazon, Apple, Nvidia. Nvidia is still to come, but these are smaller companies. Nvidia won't report earnings for a while, but these are some of the biggest ones this week. So it's not like it's all quiet all the way around the market. It's not like we're just waiting on FOMC. We have, in this election, we have all these companies reporting earnings. After next week, I think we have something like 70% of the market cap of the market has reported earnings. So we're going to start winding back down a little bit as we get into mid-November. Of course, the earnings will keep flowing right on through the end of the year. It's kind of the way it rolls. There's not really hardly a day in the market where there's not a company reporting earnings. We do get these big clumps, and then it kind of tapers off, and then then we get the end of the quarter coming up into next month. Then we'll do it all over again in January, February. So that's what we got cooking. And where's that link for the earlier show? You're on, just click the button right over. Well, let me flip sides. Right over here, underneath me. Click the button on the channel, go back to the homepage, and it'll be right there. It has a big American flag with a bear on it. And that's this morning's stream. All right. Let's click my name for the channel. Go to that page right there. That's the easiest, fastest, bestest way to get there. And S&P today. Nice move up. Thought we might see it. We got right to that limit. That's funny enough. Funny. I drew that big blue line, and we got right to... I tell you what. Sometimes, I don't know. So we got right to that line. We came up shy of it, retraced, and popped right into it at the close. Did not fill the gap, so this did not confirm anything bullish yet. Maybe that's a 5 up. Possibly. We'll probably see a retrace tomorrow. If so, could get a little extension before we get the retrace. We'll see what happens. Now, ES is the one that will trade overnight, and this has got some continuation after the close. We'll see what we get to on here. There's the zone we consolidated for several days, then broke down, reached the downside target. Now working on that reversal, and there could always be a 5% correction. If something surprising happens overnight, we could see a large overnight correction. Come back tomorrow, everything be peachy fine. And shows up in the futures, but not in the S&P. So if you have a futures trade open, make sure you have your alerts and make sure you know how to take action, get into your account. Even if you're halfway groggy because it's the booty crack in the morning, be careful. All right, in Q, it did break above that level. Came back tested it. That looks positive for potentially having put in a bottom. Potentially. We'll see where we get to. We're going to have to break above this way up here to really start confirming that we're going higher. I should pull that down just a hair. So here's the zone right there. We're going to have to get up through that zone to really, and that's where we consolidated over here and over here and over here. Going to have to get through that zone to start confirming we're going higher again on NQ. May not be able to do it until after the FOMC on Thursday. So Russell rallied right into, nice. Rallied right on up into election. And 2288 would be the upside. Right there. Let's go ahead and take that off now that we're here. Right there would be resistance. Moving up, and we may see a pullback off of that. CL. Well, I should switch over to the red list. Definitely hang out at 72, right at the bottom of the zone I said would be a coin flip zone. Can't make this stuff up. So oil, a non-player in the election results, came up into the coin flip zone. Just amazing. Just amazing. I just, they tried for the breakdown, couldn't do it. Got back to coin flip zone. I think 72 is exactly the level I said. Below 72, you come up, probably win. Above 80, I think it was 82. Probably saw the challenger win, and in between, coin flip. And that's pretty much coin flip. Bottom of the coin flip, but coin flip nonetheless. Pretty amazing. Just I'm not sure I believe the price of oil got held right at 72. I just can't hardly believe it. Brent, even more of a coin flip right in the middle there. And this is the rest of the world's oil price, basically. European Brent crude. And we've got different pattern cooking at the moment. Just clear that off. We've got this downtrend of lows coming across, and we've got a ways to go beat it. So that's a 3-wave move up and a retrace. And can we go up here and beat this downtrend, or do we roll off? So that's a head and tails. As far as oil goes, you know, I was looking at oil being the decider. Turned out that oil wasn't in play. Oil wasn't the determining factor. So it's kind of interesting. And gasoline working on a reversal here. Had a head and shoulders. Working on that rejection. That rejection potentially going to take us up to the roadmap line, right? Roadmap line right up in here. That's gasoline futures, not gasoline at the pump. There are taxes and all sorts of stuff and discounts and whatever added to this. So if you see prices cheaper than $2, something's weird going on, because there's usually taxes included on futures. But when we look at the future market, gasoline prices projected to go down. Brent prices projected to be a little crazy. And down. And then CL long term down. Not major down. I mean, we have a ramp, and we're looking at 2030, 2035. Oil long term pricing out at 64. Now you may be like, well, don't all futures charts do that? No, look at the ES right here. ES pricing a ramp. NQ pricing a ramp. Russell, I don't know about the pricing a ramp. So oil pricing a dip in the future. Heating oil, that would be diesel fuel. Kind of a, I do think gasoline's interesting. It has the seasonal, but long-term down. And then heating oil, which is diesel fuel, has this kind of a little bit of seasonal, but long-term down. Natural gas, it's an interesting one. Look at that volatility, seasonal, but drifting off over here also. It's kind of interesting. Long-term, market expecting natural gas to go down. So natural gas chart, just kind of hanging here, does have the setup to break up higher, 360 potentially to $4 area right up in here, but not getting the follow through yet. Kind of rejecting, popped up in here when on the contract rollover, pretty much came down, tried to fill the gap, and just hanging the last 2 days. GC gold just hanging. Ramped up last week and pulled back and just parked here, just sitting on uncertainty tonight. We could see chaos. We could see nothing. We'll see. Silver here has pulled back 3-way fashion, sitting parked right here at an ideal spot for finding support and moving higher again. That was the perfect place to come down to. We've held right in this vicinity for 4 days now. Just holding, holding, holding. That could lead to a pop. The signs of a pop would be break above this 33.90 area, and 35, 36, possibly 37 would be the next upside area to look for. Right up in here. 35, 36, 37. We did tag 35 right there on that high. So that's what I'm looking for right there. What I'm looking for. And copper, Dr. Copper, bouncing off the roadmap line. Maybe. Maybe. Now, here's what to watch for. This high, this low, support, resistance, flip point zone. I know I've got the big orange coming across here, but this zone right here, maybe I should color it red. Flip that back later. If we come up in here, turn down like a ping pong ball, break below the roadmap line right there, this can lead to a bigger down. This is long-term bearish right here on copper. You may not believe that, but this is very three-wave correction ever since back here in 2022. Just nasty, sideways price action, not constructive for going higher at the moment. Now, they break out above this high right here at 475. Kind of tips the odds that maybe we're done with this correctiveness, but this is not the best chart off the bottom. All right, everybody's favorite, Bitcoin USD. We'll just look at the actual spot market price here. We're coming up on the end of the consolidation I expected, post-halving, and we broke above the downtrend line. Downtrend of highs, we broke above, back tested it, pulling up a little bit today. Now, here's the hitting the trend line yesterday. I did add some little bit of protection for in crypto power plays. If we're to break below kind of this high and this high, if we break below those, it's probably going down in a bigger way. So those are some highs to watch right over here. This high, this high. If we start breaking below those, game on for going lower. And the roadmap line may not be able to save it right there. So, could bounce off the roadmap line. That's a could. But I would give more probability to doing that if we got down below these two highs right here. This high and this high. Don't really want to overlap those at all. Why? Because it wrecks any kind of semblance of bullish pattern that we have right now set up in the market for Bitcoin. It was ebbing and flowing today, kind of with this. As this one ebbed and flowed, we were kind of ebbing and flowing on Bitcoin today. So risk on, risk off. Hey, Kimberly is here, my favorite subscriber. And Ethereum still looks like it wants to plummet down and make a lower low. Still looks like it wants to go lower low. And we'll see what happens here. Right there. And lower low, we put that one down about 12% lower. If you're asking about Bitcoin and what it would be down, if we break down below those two lows, it's probably going lower low. So this could be a significant retrace from current price. We could be looking at, yeah, upwards of 30% down. Armand, that would be true. If we break below these highs over here, that high and that high, get my high straight. These highs, this high and this high. If we get below those two highs, odds are we're going lower than we were in August, and it could go fast. So, if that's scary to you, there's something that goes up when crypto goes down. Potential for that one to rally higher. And that chart is sloppy. I fixed it once before. I bet it's because it's on log mode. that high, that low. Potential to come up here to the 30 area. Right up in here. That would be the resistance right there. Got to clear that zone. Break up here, break above that. Sets the target up there. Right there. Alrighty. Now we are to the point in the show where I do requests. The rules for requests are you must use all capitals. I'm going to put preference for channel members. So if you get skipped, I'll probably come back around. But if you're a channel member, I'll try to hit you first. And the only other thing that you can do is super chat. And that is available if you need me to get priority access to you. And use all caps, use full tickers. If you're going to request a crypto, I need the full ticker I can type into TradingView, like BTC USD. And you can request futures and stuff, but please try to figure out what the ticker is. Don't just tell me sugar, because I know a few of them, but the more time I spend searching, the less time I have to do all this. All right. So there we go. All right. I see channel members throwing out WY. So that potentially has a roadmap bounce. Two big patterns I follow. I talk about every day. That's the roadmap bounce, market roadmap line coming across there. Support resistance line. If we have pulled back to bounce off of it. If we close back above this area, right above that resistance there, 34.60 would be the upside target on WY. And ASML. TradingView is going to be weird. ASML looks like we're still going lower. Still expect the bottom of the box. Nothing changed. We did hit this, but I still expect down here. Still what I'm expecting. Make a lower low and find some sort of reversal going. And nothing changed there. And Netflix is potentially going to hit the upside target there. It's the big correction from the 2021 high down to the 2022 low, and we're almost to, almost up there, 781. The upside target VRT, and that one pretty much scraped in the. We tagged the target, so pullback would be in order for that one. No real upside left. I mean, 122, 138, maybe. Not high probability at this point. Could happen. Doesn't have to happen. And all right, I'll start hitting some of the other people on the stream, the non-channel members. And Reddit, target, retrace in order. Could it extend? Sure. 141, possibly, possibly ridiculous numbers, but there you go. Do kind of expect a retrace back to this kind of breakout area, and maybe another go, and another retrace would be kind of my expectation. Race was plummeting and got to the roadmap line. That potential to hold support here, maybe go even a little lower down to 425. That's race for you. Zeta. First move down, retrace. Next move down, back to the roadmap line. I don't ever clear these. I just keep drawing on the same charts over and over. So probably somewhere in this vicinity, right down in there, would be my expectation. And let's see. BTBT. Ooh, nasty retrace back to the roadmap line, where it's probably going. And IONQ. That one stayed on there. Let's see, remove the drawings. Looks like heartbeat pattern. Looks like these are bubble patterns. Bubble pattern, back down. Bubble pattern, back down. Bubble pattern, back down. That's what I would expect. Looks like one of those right there. Those aren't tradable to me, so I don't. That's not something I'm gonna tell you much about. SLV. We already went through silver. Thought. Right there's the upside right there. 35, 36, 37. Already went through silver. So NEM back to the roadmap line. Potentially going to hold support here. And if we zoom out a little bit, like that, draw this low, this high. Looking for it to hold the 618. And big question is it the non-log mode or is it the log mode? Because log mode looks best right here. And this could leave the door open for this to retrace even deeper down here to that zone. Right in there. So this could come on down here before we set up the next bounce. I really would like to just hold this roadmap line here, this vicinity, turn higher, break back above the 618 level, right here at 53, and get cruising on up to 61, 63, 69. Targets right up in here. So I'd like to see it turn right here where we are, break back above that, and get that move up here. I know, lots of stuff I drew on the chart there. I'd like to see it hold here. If it doesn't hold here, could come on down right in there. That's what we got. That's how the cookie crumbles on NEM SO5. It's a longer term trade on NEM SO5. Looks like we're heading on the path to 16. Not giant, but there you go. Coin. Low price stuff doesn't always follow patterns. I do caution there. Coin, if we're going to get a bigger pullback on crypto, cautionary tail here. Caution, caution, caution. I did draw retracing there because that was a 618 retrace, but this is only 3-wave up, so this is the problem, I guess we might say. If we break below that 618, probably coming down here. So that's why what's drawn is drawn. We have this. We turned down in a perfect correction up to a level that could get continuation lower. And that's a bummer because if we break below this 618, probably coming down here to 130 area on coin. GILD. And just rocking and rolling, trying to break out long term. I don't know. Maybe it breaks out. That's a long time sideways. Like, golly, almost 9 years sideways. Just not the kind of thing. I'm a trend pullback continuation trader. This is not the kind of thing that I would be looking for any kind of trade inside. Just not there for me. And let's see, glob. Right up there, potential. If this is a measured bounce, somewhere around 284. CNC. A lot of these don't change all that much week to week to week. CNC still looks like it's going lower. GOOGL is a better chart than GOOG. And failed to look at that. I always talk about these gaps, like this gap down right there. Resistance. It doesn't work the other way with gap ups. Gap downs are resistance though. Because think about it, there were traders that were buying into this high right there. They were buying. They're buying for 3 days, buying, and then all of a sudden it gapped down and went down lower. And maybe they added here, and they're like, all right, and then they're like, oh, fudge muffins, and we added some more here, and you're like, all right, getting back above water. Oh, chop, don't like it. Boom, earnings. All right, I'm just gonna GTFO. Get the freak out of this thing. I'm back to the black a little bit. That was a nightmare situation. I just sat through that whole nasty thing. I'm out. And that's why we do that. Very common. Very common. We see this on things that gap down and retrace like that. I mean, this one even, came back, and finally popped through. So that was a significant resistance. And then this one is too. And we're going to have to work through it. Could take us back to the roadmap line right here. Boy bounce. Now, if we break down, this thing could go lower. Turning down there was not bullish, especially in a 3-wave move. Can lead to a bigger downside move on Google down in this vicinity down here. Do caution. That is sitting on that chart, and that was not the button I wanted to push. Cool. There's that one, there's that one, and there's that one right there. Yeah. Maybe not all the way down there, but certainly right in here. Certainly right in here. Right in there as possible. All right, that's Google for you. SLVM. It's just another silver thing. Let's see. SLVM. Savamo Corporation. And it's just reaching for the stars there. 95% of IPOs will make a significant lower low than they IPO'd, but... And so I caution here that this is a 3-wave type move. What am I talking about? This low, this high, this low. We may stall out at 92, possibly a little higher, 100, and then roll down and make a lower low than we had back here. They can come all the way back down. That's entirely possible. If you don't believe it, this one is the one. It's rock and rolled and retrace fully. That's pretty spicy. And then it came apart. And you're like, well, SLVM is not like BYND. Golly, man. Come on. Thank you for being super slow. Cool. Hung up. SLVM. Let's be careful. That permacautious is what some of my members joke about me being. VZ, the upside is limited. It would be somewhat limited. Maybe they solve the next, maybe they have the next $3 bajillion product. VZ, just hanging out right on the roadmap line. Could push down lower. Not great. S-Bucks. I am long Starbucks. Looking forward to break this resistance. I got long down here. We popped up in here. I think my long is right at 100. Long-term calls out a couple years. 2026. Looking for this target up here. 110, 120, 130, 40, somewhere in that zone. Looking for that pop. That's Starbucks. Paramount. Looks pretty crap. Probably gonna go lower low. And SMR. Dun, dun, dun. Hit targets. Watch out for the pullback. I'm working my way down the list. I'll be there soon enough. All right. AA. Alcoa. Upside. Potential upside at 48.85. MCD. Probably coming back to the roadmap line. Right down in this vicinity. Right down in here. Somewhere around that 285 area. And CLOV. That was the lowest low. That's one big rip. Not really much pullback or anything to contend with. Watch for a pullback. This is not one of the this does not just go ripping. Now, that all said, this is low price stuff, under 10 bucks, under 10 bucks stuff. Don't always follow patterns. There's like 4 things. Leverage stuff, under $10 stuff, like stock tickers, just regular equities, not futures or cryptos. Biotechs and China stuff. That's the 4 things. So that fits in as kind of healthcare, health insurance, healthcare related, Food and Drug Administration related. And low price, be careful. That's not the place to be playing. Just not for me. Tesla. Dun, 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 dun. My 230 call was looking pretty good at the close. Hopefully that continues. And potentially bottomed out here. Next target up here. Downside risk is the roadmap line down here around 222. And ARM. Do have earnings coming up right there, Wednesday, November 6th. So tomorrow, looks like we're coming down for the roadmap line. We break down below it, and my target has been down here for more than a year, it seems like. Ever since we gapped up, I've been saying we're probably coming back down here. And it's an IPO thing. This was a lower low than the IPO, but we may need one more go at it. And TLN. Dun, 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 dun. Potential to come back to the roadmap line or extend that thing. Extend it how, you might say. That high, that low. Probably 205, 213 maybe. Or come back to the roadmap line. VS. And stuck at the roadmap line. Not really looking very spicy. That can break lower. That's $1. So I wouldn't bet on that doing anything. And Mara might go lower. That was not a good place to turn down. Kind of pushing below the uptrend of lows. Not looking super awesome. If crypto does a bigger flush, this is going down into this box right down in here. Maybe to the bottom of the box at 12. And next up, CEG. Back to the roadmap line, be where I expect. And AMSC. If I say anything that's helpful, beneficial, you liked it, you didn't like it, give me a thumbs up or a thumbs down, react on the video, give me a comment, something. No feedback is just silence in a bubble here. AMSC. There's the resistance. Haven't been able to break out. If we can break out, the upside extension, potentially up here at 44. And NVO. Or Nova Disc, getting the bigger pullback. Tag the first target. Resistance at the roadmap line. And second target down here at 97. And MRO. Tag the wrong button. There we go. MRO just chopping in a corrective downward go. This may go lower. It can reverse out of here at any time, but that's not the stuff that bullish moves are made out of right there. Be cautious. That looks like 3 waves up. Initial move down. This corrective junk. And we may need another flush before this is done. Possibly as low as 18. And that's why it's like not great. AFRM. I've looked at a ton of these charts in the last few weeks. It seems like we get a lot of the same charts over and over and over. This potential measure bounce, potential to go to 135. That's still not a higher high, ultimately, than we had back here in 21. So watch out. Could get an extension here. That would be an initial resistance, pull back, and that something like that might be the what's in play. Alrighty, and Snow. I have 1 share, and I'm not convinced we have made a bottom yet. We may need another flush. This is not the stuff that bullish moves look like they're built out of. We haven't broken above the roadmap line. We haven't made a spike low that reverses with a long tail or anything. This is just like grinding at the low. Usually we see another flush after doing that. So be careful chasing that one. DOUL. I think that's Duolingo. Yep. Yeah. That one's sitting at the first target. Next target up about 351. Yeah. Not bad. That's the last big pullback. If we rally up to 351, watch out. I mean, it could go super high, but I just don't see it right now without doing another sizable pullback. So be careful. Limited upside there. Dava. Dumpster fire in the making. Going down. Didn't even make it to the upside target before we made it to the downside target. Next support down around 21. BA. Looking for that to make a 4-5 to a lower low. Potentially down here around 137 area. We can get that final flush out lower than this low back here in October. I think we can finally be done there. But if it doesn't hold there, if we don't bounce there, get back above the roadmap line, it could develop on down to 94 and then wreck the whole setup we had from back here in 22. That would be a bummer. But that's the up, that's the long and the short of it, if you will. BRKB, Berkshire Hathaway, probably coming back down to the roadmap line, right down here around 430. Look for support and a turn. Roku would be just kind of churning here. Churn, burn. Initial move up and retrace, holding the 618. But we held the 618 on the bounce. So we did a move down. I talk about this all the time. We did a move down, we did a retrace. Next move down, I would expect a lower low, but we held the 618 here. So this could fake it out and break out. It's going to take a break above this to indicate we're going on up here. That target would be up here at 121, but we got to get above that big gap down. That big fat gap down right there. That's why the orange box is sitting there. That's a gap down. We rejected off the bottom of it and pull back. If we can rally up into the top of it, up here, we may pull back again. Careful. That's major resistance right there going higher for Roku. And tag going. Cool. There we go. MSFT. It swung and missed on going higher. And potentially head and shoulders, maybe. Could lead to a bigger dip. That right there. Head to neck. Put it down around 379. If we can turn it, burn it, fake the breakout here, breakdown here. Upside 481. I am long a short-term position on Microsoft that'll probably go to 0. Bummer. QTRX. Man, fingers. Hit the right buttons, please. Resistance at the roadmap line. Break above that. Potential to go higher, but this is a downtrend and may get continuation lower. That was a higher. That's 3 up, 1 down, 3 up. May go lower again. How much lower? Potentially down to 10. And I did BA, IBM. Coming back to the roadmap line. That was the extension. It looks played out for now. I would expect right down here around this 195, 200 area. Right there. And I did VST already. MSTR. Dang. How did they? Just consolidating right here above the breakouts. I think there's a bigger target going. I have like 10 shares. I had 1 share before the split. I'm just going to hold on to them for now. If we break down below this prior high area, we may come back to the roadmap line. And we could just sit while crypto consolidates and this comes up and we meet over here somewhere, then bounce. So that's entirely possible. We kind of did that here. We did that. Yeah, we kind of did that from here all the way over to here. Just kind of, and then finally hit right there and then ran. Got the target, and now we can do that again until we meet up over here somewhere. And then extend, and then drift back lower, and extend until we get all the way up here. All right. DJT got slammed. Imagine that. Slammed and popped and slammed and popped and couldn't get through the 618. If the challenger loses, this is probably going like this. Maybe into the single digits. Challenger wins. I don't know. We could pop 60 on the upside. And PLTR. Hit the target. And next target up. Well, I guess it busted through the resistance, is what proper term. Target 58.34 on the upside. QRVO, Corvo. Boom, right down. Boom, boom, boom. Further downside, possibly down to 49, 45, 49 area. On the way. Not really a surprise. And that's the list. Made it through, everybody. Faster than normal. Didn't even hit 6 o'clock. Anybody still with me? I don't even know how many people are on the stream here. Let's see if I can figure it out. And go to my channel. Apple. And check it out. Apple. And right there, we did a big retrace back holding that 618 and 243 still the upside potential. And Kava. Dang. I hit the wrong button again. CAVA. Man, talk about lag. I don't know what's going on. Trading view nice and peppy during the market open, but not so peppy in the close here. Kava, potential to come down. It's extended to the upside. It's pretty up here in no man's land between the 1618 and 1272. And we see a lot of times top out in that area. Or if it's on the non-log mode, we pretty much hit the 2618, which again can result in a big strong pullback. Something on the order of what we did over here. And 1% of the move would be up to 250. So see what happens there. And now people are picking up a little bit. Hut is a piece of garbage. Reverse splits. I wouldn't touch it with your money, my money, any money. I wouldn't touch it. Probably going lower. And tech. I don't think tech's a stock, isn't it? Tech. That's a biotech. I wouldn't touch that with your money, my money, any money. TQQQ is just leveraged in Q. Still has the setup. Still potential target. $90 on the upside. CHPT. Charge points. Is a dumpster fire going to 0. And Lily. Keep hitting extra. That one down to the first target. Potential retrace up to the roadmap line and extension lower to 720. I bailed off of this up here at 920, I think it was. Not great. CMG turned down at the roadmap line. Turned down at the 618. So we bounced off. First move down. Just first move down. Second move right there. That's 1, 2. Turn down at the 618. So 3, roughly the same size as 1. And that puts it right here. That potential. Now, how do we know it's not going to do that? We break above this level right here. And we possibly go up to this level up here. Right there around 80. See that 1, 2, 3. This is just a bigger one. 1, 2, 3. Alrighty. There you go. All right. Well, if everybody's going to vote, I can wrap this up. Maybe I could go vote. Depends. Anyway, my presidential candidate was not on the list on the local election, so bummer. App probably gonna retrace. That's a big exponential up and potential come back down. Watch out. Could extend. 189, possibly 268. Very unlikely, but there you go. All right, everybody. I'll be back with you 9:15 in the morning. We'll see. Do we have a winner? Do we not? I don't know. We'll see. I'm not voting for either of the two, incumbent or challenger. That's the way I roll. So have a great day. We'll see you again later. Bye for now.